I'm gonna get back to the condo now and show you that app, Ditch, that I also use, because that brings a whole nother level of safety to my planning and makes it a whole lot more safer. And I think you guys are really gonna enjoy it. So let me get this boat all tidied up, get everything on the boat that I need, and then we're gonna get back to the condo. All right, so we're back in the condo now, and continuing on with this trip planning part of the video, I'm gonna talk about the app Ditch and why and how I'm using it for the crossing tomorrow, and why I think this app is such an awesome app and a extremely powerful tool for so many boaters out there. And so Ditch actually reached out to me a while ago and told me to check out the app and use it and give them my thoughts and what I think of the app, and I fell in love with the app, and I think it's an extremely powerful tool for many boaters out there. And so I kept talking to them, and they were nice enough to agree to sponsor this video because I am using their app for tomorrow's crossing, because I am going into some unfamiliar waters, which is where this app really shines. And so let me show you real quick how I use the app and why it's so powerful. And so let's open up Ditch on the iPad here. And so I am going to screen record and then set you guys up on a camera on my face and then overlay the screen recording on the video. That way y'all's viewership experience is much better. So let's get you set up here. All right, so when you load up the Ditch app and to a given area, this is the screen and the charting that you're gonna see. And before I get into the mechanics of how I'm using it tomorrow, really quickly what it is and why I think it's superior and why I'm choosing to use this app over other apps, is pretty much because it takes into account past vessels' AAS data who have safely navigated that waterway. And so if you zoom in here, you're gonna see these kind of, these gray and blue dots. And what those are is those are past tracks from vessels who have safely navigated these waters. And so you can go into the app and you can see, okay, a lot of vessels are going here. It's probably pretty navigable water. And so this app not only takes into account all the charting data and the Army Corps of Engineer depth and other information, it also takes into account AAS data and real-time information, so it knows where boats are actually going in an area. And so to me, that is completely, that's priceless information. There's no other apps doing it that I'm aware of, and so Ditch is leading the pack when it comes to kind of auto guidance, and this is what I mean by that. And so because I'm not familiar with the Stewart Waterway area, I need to get from the inlet to Pirates Cove Marina, where I'm dropping off two of the friends who are crossing with me, and then from Pirates Cove Marina up to Melbourne, where the boat stays and where I live. And so for me to know the exact area where to go in these unfamiliar waters, I'm gonna tap on the entrance to the St. Lucie Inlet, which is the Stewart Inlet here. I'm gonna hit route from here, and then I'm gonna scroll over here to the Pirates Cove Marina, which is clearly marked as Pirates Cove Marina. I'm gonna click, and then so Ditch's AI algorithms are then gonna go and take into account all the charting data and then also all of the AAS data from past boats to create this smart path, which is this orange line, and it's gonna basically give me a recommended path, and it's one that is through the channel from what the chart says is the channel, but it also is smack dab in the middle of where all the other boats' paths have gone. I mean, you can see it pretty much cuts the past paths down the center. And if you want to double check the work, which I think is pretty cool, if you load up here, turn on the satellite view, you can actually see that this perfectly goes through the dead center of the channel where the majority of vessels are going to be. And then if you look pretty closely here, you can actually see that it's smacked out on top of a lot of the boats that are traveling through this area. So it does a good job. It's pretty accurate. And so the next leg of my trip is gonna be done in much the same fashion. And so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna hide this route. I'm gonna click here at Pirates Cove. I'm gonna hit route from here. I'm gonna zoom out. I'm gonna come up here to Melbourne, which is where I'm going. I'm gonna hit here next to the Galley Yacht Club. And again, the app's AI is gonna do its thing, and it's gonna create a smart path, which is a recommended route for me to get from Pirates Cove up to Melbourne. And it's gonna take into account all that past AAS data, so it knows this is going to be your safest path and your quickest path as well. And so something I thought was really cool when I was looking around the Fort Pierce area is if you look at the Fort Pierce inlet here, where is it? If you actually zoom into the bridge here, you can see that those guides that kind of outline the channel going under the bridge, this thing is smack dab down the middle of them. And so it's a pretty smart program, and the reason for that is every single boat that goes under that bridge goes through that area. And because of AIS, this app knows that. So it's gonna have me do the exact same thing. And so super, super smart tool, and it saves every route you make. And so now if I go to my routes at the bottom, both of those things are saved. And so I can go back and tap this one and it's gonna show me that route. And so if you tap on that orange line, I'm gonna tap it there, I'm gonna hit route info, and I'm gonna change the name of it to St. Lucie Inlet to Pirates Cove, update route. And then the next one, I'm gonna do the same thing for this other route, and I'm gonna name that one by tapping on the orange line, you know, route info, and I'm gonna name this Pirates Cove to Melbourne. And so now tomorrow, when the time comes for me to need this information firsthand, to have it on my phone next to my Garmin so I know exactly where I'm going, I'm gonna tap on my routes and I can instantly see the 2 routes that are needed. So when I approach the inlet, I'm just gonna tap on St. Lucie Inlets to Pirates Cove, and now I have a satellite view of, I can see exactly where I need to go, where I need to be, going through the channel here. And then once I drop off my friends at Pirates Cove, I hit my routes, and then I can hit Pirates Cove to Melbourne, and I have that information at my fingertips right there. So it's an extremely powerful tool, as you can see. It's the only app of its kind on the market that I'm aware of, and it's the only one that actively takes in more information to make these routes better. And by more information, I mean more real-world boating information of the exact areas boats are going. And so a really cool app. I use it all the time now for USA intercoastal boating because it's the best there is when it comes to trip planning for that. It doesn't support the Bahamas quite yet, which obviously you guys know I spend a lot of time over here. I do my boating over here, but I'm told that is in the works. And as you can probably imagine, an app that tracks AIS data and, you know, does routes for you based on that is going to be a game changer over here, because local knowledge is everything, and this is essentially giving everybody local knowledge at your fingertips. So again, Ditch, extremely powerful app. It's one that I've actually started to use quite often for my trip planning, and a giant thank you to Ditch for sponsoring the video and liking what I do, and I like what you guys do. So that's about it for the trip planning part. I use the Boats Garmin for the big stuff, and then when I get into unfamiliar waters, I break out the Ditch app so I know exactly where I'm going. And so we're gonna move on to the next thing here. And really quick, I do want to mention that I am going to put the download link to Ditch in the description below, and they are running a free trial for summertime right now. So if you guys want to check it out, which I highly recommend, click that link in the description, go download the app, and, you know, become a better boater, have more tools at your disposal.